Hello, guys, guys. I got a mic. I got new stuff. I got new stuff, good people. I'm just excited. I'm super excited. Today, I do not have a script that I'm going to read from. Today, I'm just going to talk about something. But first, I'm going to show you guys my podcast setup. Okay? It is, well, it's not the final setup because this little light right here, you see how my face is getting darker and lighter? Um, that light is going to be replaced with another light and everything. But I didn't take that light out of the box yet. I can show you. I can show you that light. One sec. Headphones. Head, headpho- Headphones. Okay. Hold on. One second. I got the light. Indeed. Bam. Okay. So that's gonna be right here where this light is. I'll show you. I'll show you. Because when you see that light, you're gonna be like, that's not anything to be excited about. This is the light that I'm excited about. Okay, it's just not set up yet. Where are my headphones? Look at these headphones. This was a gift. Okay, it's a gift. Ah, goodness gracious! I am so excited. So let's take a look at my setup, and then I will decide on a topic. So first and foremost, we have the camera itself, and I can't show you the camera, but we have this mic. This is the new mic. Okay, boom. It says on it BM 800, but it came out of this box. I got stuff on the box. One second. Got stuff on the box. Boom. This is the box that it came in. Very nice. Very, very nice. I didn't want to set up the muffler, so I just put the little sock head on it. But it's great. Then I have my earphones. My earphones are connected to this. Oh, look at this. I wonder if you guys can hear these sounds. I hope you can. That is super duper cool. So I can change, mic volume, um, put an echo, put an echo on my voice. I can do this. Let's just go. A regular check check. Okay, cool. Take the echo back off. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Um, and it allows me to. Oh, and then there's this. Okay, that's pretty cool. Get this plastic out of here. A little LG, little LG. That's the light that's gonna be replaced. That's you guys. And this one over here. So that is the new stuff. Very exciting, very nice new stuff. Welcome back to my face being a regular size. Just gonna carefully put the plastic right back over there. And yeah, man, let's kind of get into a little bit of a topic here. Let's see what I want to talk about. See what I want to talk about. I have, and I'll share with you guys. But let me pull it up first. I'll share the screen in a sec. Back to files. This one. And then oh, share the screen. requires me to add it to the stage. There we go. So this right here is it's called a mind map, right? Inner storyteller content map, and I made it and I named it and everything, and I have some of my little random ideas in here, and oh, the wrong way. It just helps me kind of organize my thoughts and whatnot, and this one's like philosophical explanations map, so I can explain things and give my notes on things. Um, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna look at while I chat with y'all. Stop screen. There we go. Stop sharing the screen so I'm not taking up the computer resources. And let's get into something. Right? Well, I have been watching lots and lots and lots of philosophical and politically charged and status correction, citizen versus national versus whatnot, and um, discharge debt rabbit hole videos for a long time now. Okay, I have had my interests go in several directions, and one of the one of the most repeated, you know, topics that comes up is the fact that the government's power and our, you know, habit of pretending so hard that they have all of this power is very fragile. Our relationship to power is very fragile, right? The court of public opinion is more powerful than people like to admit. People like to admit to themselves. But the reason why we don't want to admit that the court of public opinion is very powerful unless it suits our like argument for the moment, but we don't want to consistently admit it, is because we we would have to reckon with our obedience to evil people. We would have to reckon with saying yes to paying taxes to people that use our money or whatever to enrich themselves, to carry out very harmful agendas, to go to war, all of these things, right? To harm people. And I'm going to adjust my microphone. I'm going to adjust the mic. Oh, I'm so excited to have this new equipment. It moves. It moves around. It'll honestly pick me up from all the way over here, but it feels like it's coming in way more clear if I'm right up on it. And the setting that I have on right now is to automatically adjust the volume. So hopefully it's not going in and out or sounding very weird. It sounds fine in my headphones, my new headset. Look at this bag, by the way. This is the bag for the headset. Um, where was I? The point that I'm heading toward is truth has to become embodied in lived action, right? We have to learn to live the truth, and we cannot do so while also being obedient to these people that just more and more people are more and more aware. Every single 4 months or so, we get a new upgrade to how many people are coming out and speaking about how things just are not fair, things just are not correct, they are not moral, they are not what we asked for, what we voted for, what we sacrificed for, what we've been working so hard for. None of it is making sense. All of it is pointing to a very dystopian future. All of that would have to be reckoned with if we consistently recognize the fragility of the power that those in power actually wield. And the court of public opinion can make someone lose power because the court of public opinion heavily influences what is considered authority and what is considered a costume. Now, of course, there are stupid ways to go about asserting and claiming your freedom from these people. You don't necessarily want to just decide for yourself, especially if you have a family to look out for, that you're just going to be very rebellious in all regards across the board, starting now in a brash and irrational kind of way, right? Or that you're going to try and take up arms against the, the biggest holder, possessor, right, in the world. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I would not try to take up arms against anybody unless you're defending yourself. But what I would do and what I would encourage us to do is to re examine the stories that we tell ourselves in the moments that we decide to look away from the fact that everybody knows that we don't want these people to be the ruling class. Not only do we not want it, we inwardly demand that they stop what they're doing, that they stop getting tighter and tighter with their grip around our necks. Because the story that we tell ourselves is what is directing our responses to their behavior. The story that we tell ourselves is what is directing our responses to our behavior as a collective, and to, you observe yourself behave and you respond to yourself behaving. You respond when you do something that you're not used to, or when you do something that you're proud of, or when you do something that you're ashamed of. You respond to yourself. Our responses to our behavior and to their behavior is programmed by the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, who they are, what our standing is, what their standing is, what our God is, what their God is, what our values are, what their values are, and what our similarities are between all of us, where we become vulnerable because we're the same as them in certain ways. And there's not really an us versus them. There clearly is, as far as an order giver class and an order follower class, but there's not really an us versus them as far as like they're a different species or something weird like that. Or maybe, there are some that are a different species, but you know what I'm talking about. Everybody is on the same playing field, and it's all word magic, and we just agree to adhere to their religions and their contracts and their orders out of ignorance, cowardice, and apathy. And the stories we tell ourselves that are programmed into the inner storyteller, okay, or the inner storyteller is programming these stories into our subconscious mind, to use such a phrase. And changing the story means overriding the automatic responses over and over again until the neuroplasticity property of your brain starts to shift something that is in alignment with you making the right choice over and over and over again. The hard choice over and over and over again. The choice that you are not used to making over and over and over again. Putting yourself back in the unknown, right? And in going down these rabbit holes, exploring different remedies for the trampling on my freedoms and my rights by this organization. Eventually, you do it in a different way. What I mean is, eventually, you stop looking at that whole thing as, this is what I need to do because if I do it, if I'm precise with my paperwork and if my words, like if I can master how to speak the language of the legalese and all of the word magic, and I can turn in precise paperwork and exit without um if I can follow their rules. This is where I'm going with this. We think about it at first as, oh, here's how I can follow their rules and keep myself safe and separate myself and maybe my family, maybe a couple other loved ones, and be out of their radar, be off of their radar, and just live peacefully, right? Eventually, that mindset is completely erased and replaced with a mindset of, you know, it's all just made up anyway. And it's really not about whether or not I can exit and live peacefully for the rest of my life. It's about what is happening on Earth and how do we do something about what on Earth is happening. It's about not being able to acknowledge that you want to exit without being able to acknowledge that we all need to exit. Speaking of exit, there is this really cool meeting of the minds called Exit and Build coming up, and brother by the name of John Bush, who's going to be on this show June 8th, you know, June 8th, 6 to 6:30. He runs Exit and Build, and it's something that you all should Google. So, go to another tab right now and Google Exit and Build and see what all that's about because it's a really cool dude and it's a really cool concept that they have going on, a really cool meeting of the minds that I hope to be a part of very soon, you know. But yeah, man, we have to be hyper aware and cognizant of the stories we tell ourselves that lead to the result of our lack of freedom. Oh, it's so silly. There's a bunch of stuff. I wonder if y'all like if y'all can't hear none of these sound effects that I'm pushing, then me laughing, like that would have probably come off like really random. But I'm laughing because I hit a sound effect and it's just the funniest thing ever, you know? But yeah, man, I am going to exit this podcast here. I really just came on just so I could show you my new stuff, but I wanted to talk about the inner storyteller a little bit before I left. Um, and I was like, well, what's the most big picture thing that I really want to get across to people? And that big picture thing is the fact that our obedience to the government, to these real life people who are our peers, who do not have our best interests at heart, and who consistently are caught in schemes to manipulate and or harm the public in one way or another, comes from the stories that we tell ourselves. And so the work that we have to do must start with where that comes from. We have to start with the stories we tell ourselves about our authority, their authority, our what we're actually doing, what we're willing to do, and what they're willing to do. We have to begin to be more honest, right? That's the root. And so I wanted to talk about that with you guys before I got out of here. But today is indeed Friday. I do plan on being here tomorrow. I cannot wait to see you then. And I'll probably have a script and everything. And I'll probably work into my script different things from my little soundboard. But at first I gotta check this replay and see if y'all can even hear these sound effects. And if you can, then that's super awesome, right?
Awesome!
All right. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love.